Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Scorebook Stories. I'm Alec. We are in crunch time of the MLB season. It is a very important time in baseball. Basically, every game matters from here to the end of the month for a lot of teams trying to make a push to get themselves into the playoffs. And there's a lot of teams in tight races, and there's a lot of teams right now that need to get it together. I'm watching one of those teams in the background behind the camera setup I got here right now, actually, but we're going to get to them a little bit later. Excuse my new setup. I have my whole apartment just absolutely ripped apart. I'm trying to reorganize where I'm going to be putting everything, set up new areas, and move my whole apartment around. Don't know why I'm trying to do it, but that's what I'm in the process of doing. So I'm sitting on my couch in my living room with this wonderful backdrop behind me. Sorry that it's a different setup, but we are going to have a wonderful look, I think, after we are all said and done and I'm finished moving all of my stuff around. Either way, let's dive right into it. The Los Angeles Dodgers are not playing well. They're not playing good baseball. They are a team that is slumping at the wrong time with the Padres right on their heels in the division. They haven't won a game yet in the month of September. I mean, we're only a week in to the month of September, but the Dodgers have been swept by the Pirates and could be swept by the Orioles by the time you are listening to this episode. I believe that game got underway about 20 minutes ago. So who knows what's going to happen? But against the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Dodgers lost 9-7, 3-0, 5-3. The Pirates, in my opinion, always find a way to screw over one of these top teams in the month of September. They go into September, really no shot of making the playoffs. They call up one or two guys that are going to be studs for another team eventually, and they find a way to win. They find a way to screw up one team that is in the top of their division and trying to make a push to solidify their spot in the postseason. But LA fell 2-1 against Baltimore Friday night, which isn't really that big of a deal. But Saturday night was absolutely tragic for the Los Angeles Dodgers and Dodgers fans everywhere, in my opinion. Yoshinobu Yamamoto had a no-hitter with 2 outs in the ninth when Jackson Holliday hit a solo home run to end the no-hitter. It was ridiculous. Absolutely great. But that, with Yamamoto being at 112 pitches, that made the Dodgers pull him off the mound, which makes a lot of sense. That is definitely a time that you would pull your pitcher who's in the middle of a no-no. But either way, he gets pulled with pitch, ending his night with 8.2 innings pitched, a bunch of Ks, only one earned run, one hit. Very well done. But the bullpen needed to just get one out, and they couldn't do it. The Orioles put together a unbelievable rally, and they walked it off in the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs, winning the game 4-3. Absolutely heartbreaking for Dodgers fans after Yamamoto literally put the team on his back that has been struggling so far this week. But today, Sunday, we're going to see the final game of the series with Baltimore, with Clayton Kershaw looking to bounce back after a poor start against the Pirates, where he allowed 4 runs, 4 hits, and 4 walks, only striking out 3 batters through 5 innings pitched. Not a great day for Clayton Kershaw, if I'm being honest. And I don't know what he's doing on the mound. Sometimes he looks like the Kershaw of old. Sometimes he doesn't look all that great. And it's really kind of frustrating, especially as a baseball fan. But right now it is the top of the third with the Dodgers in the lead 1-0 as I am recording this right now. Another team that is kind of going through a funk right now is the Mariners. They're in a very similar situation, only winning 1 game in the month of September. However, they were up 9-0 over the Braves when I started to work on this episode and get things put together for today. So they could have won 2 games. It is currently 11-1 in the bottom of the 7th for Seattle over the Braves right now. So Looks like they're going to end up winning 2 games in the month of September. But either way, they're in a tight race to get themselves into the top spot in the division. And the way some of these other wild card teams are looking right now, winning the division may be the only option for an AL West team to really make the playoffs. It's going to be very difficult for whoever is in that second place spot in the AL West to get themselves into the postseason, because right now they are the benchmark. They are the last team in. Seattle is right now. The Astros may be a little bit ahead, depending on where the other wild card teams are. I have not looked at that right now. But either way, it's going to be very difficult for the Mariners to make it into the playoffs, especially if the Royals continue to play well like they have been, because they're not too far out of a wild card spot right now. But looking at the rest of the schedule for the Mariners, it looks like it's going to be a relatively easy month for them. They should be able to rack up a good amount of wins. The only real difficult series that they have coming up is the Astros and the Dodgers. The Royals could pose a problem, like I said, because the Royals are a very good team right now. They're playing good baseball. They're getting wins, and they're winning series. They're not sweeping anybody, but they're playing really good baseball. And that could be a problem for the Mariners. However, the main issue that could keep Seattle out of the postseason is going to be the top of the division, Houston Astros and the Los Angeles Dodgers, who are struggling at this point, but I expect the Dodgers to turn around. They are a great ball club with a lot of incredible baseball players. I don't see the Dodgers carrying this slump longer than a week and a half. Like I expect them to really turn things around, especially because I think they have Colorado coming up soon. So they should be able to get 2, if not 3 wins against the Rockies and get themselves back on track heading into October. And the other team that I currently have their baseball game on against the Toronto Blue Jays is the New York Yankees. They seem to build momentum, and then they hit a brick wall made of errors and mental mistakes. I really don't know what is going on right now with the New York Yankees. They also just had a really weird situation at second base where the umpire said that Anthony Volpe pushed George Springer off the bag. I don't know about that. That's going to be weird. Either way. Sorry, I'm not going to talk about the game that's on right now. The Yankees bullpen of Bednar, Williams, Doval, and Weaver seemingly is getting better. They seemingly are starting to improve and get a little bit more solid over time here, but they're still not where I think a lot of Yankees fans would like them to be. I will admit sometimes fan expectations for any baseball club are a little unrealistic, but being a Yankee, I think usually comes with a higher set of standards for a lot of ball players, which is why I think you see a lot of guys tend to struggle once they get to New York. Like Joey Gallo, he was unreal. The Yankees brought him in, and he just wasn't the same guy. I don't really know why, if it was his play style or if he just really was just having a really good year where he was, and then came over and went and just kind of struggled the rest of the way, or if the pressure of being in New York really does have that kind of effect on players. I mean, Marcus Stroman also was a very dominant ball player, came to the Yankees, was pretty dominant at the beginning and started to trail off. I'm not sure if it is a New York effect, because it is a high pressure place to play with an organization as historical as the New York Yankees, where this owner, the Steinbrenners, expect World Series rings almost every single year. Like, the Yankees don't make the playoffs or go even further and make at least the championship series. I would assume that the front office of the New York Yankees deems that season a failure. That's kind of just the attitude and the aura that surrounds the New York Yankees, and that can be very difficult to put on a player. But so far this month, the Yankees are 3-12 with a series, and right now they're playing the series finale against the division-leading Toronto Blue Jays. The Yankees are going to be taking on the Tigers and the Red Sox this week, and they are both must-win series for the Yankees if they want to make the postseason. Like, these two series are going to be very important. They're going to need to win 2 of 3 during both of these series. I don't think there's any way that they can get enough momentum through the rest of the month to overtake the Toronto Blue Jays if they don't take 2 of 3 the rest of the way. After the Tigers and the Red Sox are done, the Yankees are not really playing anybody. It looks like it's going to be a bunch of teams that are not going to be making the postseason, and it should allow the Yankees to break up some slumps and clean up some errors and get the pitching staff in the right places to where it needs to be before they go into October, likely as a wild card team right now based on the way that they have been playing over the past several months. It's tough to say for the New York Yankees right now because they do have a great ball club. They have great baseball players, and honestly, I don't think there's an excuse as to why they're playing the way that they are. I think the Yankees definitely should be record-wise much better than they currently are. They have a winning record, but it still isn't. It's not great. And I don't think if they go into the postseason playing this current level of Yankee baseball, I don't think it's going to be good. I don't think they're going to get past the divisional series if they even make it out of the wild card round, if they even make the playoffs. Stay up to date on everything going on in the sports world by heading over to 7 Mountain Sports on Facebook, 7 Mountain Sports on X, on Instagram. We are on all of your favorite platforms, and you do not want to miss out on a single thing going on here at 7 Mountain Sports. We're going to look at the standings right now and see where all these teams are and who's really has a good shot of making the playoffs here. And in the AL East, the Toronto Blue Jays are still leading, as we just discussed, 82 and 60. And the Yankees are right behind them at 79 and 63, 3 games back. And if the Yankees can pick up a win here today, then that should put them in much better position going into these two difficult series against Detroit and Boston to make a push for the top of the division. The Red Sox are right behind the Yankees, 4.5 out of first place at 78 and 65. Tampa Bay is 11 games out of first, 71 and 71. And Baltimore is 16 games out of first at 66 and 76. In the Central, Detroit has the lead at 82 and 62. The Royals are behind them 8.5 games back at 73 and 69. The Cleveland Guardians are 71 and 70, 10 games out of first. The Twins are 62 and 80, 19.5 out of first. And the White Sox, I think, have officially been eliminated, 28 games out of first place at 54 and 89. In the West, Houston has the lead in the division, 78 and 65. Seattle is next at 74 and 69, 3.5 out of first. Texas is 73 and 75 out of first. The Angels are 66 and 76, 11.5 out of first. And the A's are 66 and 77, 12 games out of first place. In the National League, before we get to the National League, the wild card right now is the Yankees have a 5-game lead in the wild card. Boston has a 3.5-game lead. Seattle is the line at 0. The Royals are 1.5 behind Seattle. Texas is 1.5 behind Seattle. Oh, the Royals are 1 behind Seattle, excuse me. And the Guardians are 2.5 behind Seattle for a wild card spot. The wild card race is heating up, and I think the Royals have a really good shot of getting themselves into the playoffs in a wild card spot if they can continue to build momentum through the rest of this season. It's going to be difficult for the Royals to do that, but I think they have a roster that can push themselves into a wild card spot. I don't think they're going to catch Detroit in the division, though, but it also is going to come down to how Houston ends up playing the rest of the way as well. In the National League, the Phillies have the lead in the East at 83 and 59. The Mets are 7 games back at 76 and 66. The Miami Marlins are 18 games back at 65 and 77. The Braves are 19 games out at 64 and 78. And the Nationals are 25.5 games back at 57 and 84. In the Central, Milwaukee has the lead and the best record in the MLB at 88 and 55. The Cubs are 81 and 61, 6.5 games behind Milwaukee. The Reds are 71 and 71, 16.5 out of the division. The Cardinals are 71-72, 17 games out of the division. And the Pirates are 64-79, 24 games out of the Central. The Dodgers are in the lead in the West as of now. They are 78-64. The Padres are one game back at 77-65. The Giants moved up to third. They are 72-76 games back. Arizona 72-71, 6.5 back. And the Rockies are 40-102, 38 games out of first place, and they're not making the playoffs. 40-102. That is awful. That is absolutely awful right now. Oh my gosh. The Rockies need to figure it out. I don't know what the Rockies need to do. They look terrible. Anyway, the National League wild card. The Cubs have a 5-game lead in the wild card. Padres have a 1-game lead, and the Mets are the line right now at 0. The Giants are 4 games behind the Mets. Arizona's 4.5 behind the Mets, and the Reds are 5 behind the Mets. So I think the NL wild card is pretty much set. I don't necessarily think the Giants are going to catch the Mets. I think they could. They have a decent team. They are starting to put some things together, put some wins together, but I really don't think that the Giants are going to be a team to worry about. The Diamondbacks could, but also I don't necessarily think they will be. It's tough to call right now, but I think that really the only difference that we are going to see in the National League is, are the Padres going to be the wild card team, or are the Dodgers going to be the wild card team? I think that's pretty much the only question right now when it comes to the National League postseason picture. Then looking at some of our statistical leaders, we have Aaron Judge at 322 leading the way in batting average. Jacob Wilson right behind him at 318. Bo Bichette at 311. Trey Turner at 305. Jeremy Pena at 304. In hits leaders, Bo Bichette has the lead at 181. Trey Turner is second with 178. Bobby Witt Jr. has 160. Luis Arias has 158. Aaron Judge has 154. Home run leaders, Cal Raleigh is at 52. Kyle Schwarber's at 49. Shohei Ohtani's at 46. Aaron Judge and Eugenio Suarez both are at 43. RBI leaders, Kyle Schwarber at 119. Pete Alonso at 113. Cal Raleigh at 110, Eugenio Suarez at 106, and Riley Green at 103. When it comes to pitching leaders, Paul Skeens is absolutely the best pitcher in the major leagues. He has a 1.98 ERA. Unreal, unbelievable. I cannot believe he is that dominant this year. And it's proving that he is, without a doubt, the best in the league. Tarek Skubal is right behind him with a 2.10. Hunter Brown has a 2.25. Freddie Peralta has a 2.50. And Christopher Sanchez has a 2.60. In strikeout leaders, Tarek Skubal leads the way with 212. Garrett Crochet is second with 218. Zach Wheeler has 195. Paul Skeens has 195 as well. And Logan Webb is in fifth with 194. Wins leaders, Freddie Peralta and Carlos Rodon are tied with 16. Max Fried is 15. Garrett Crochet is 14. And Tarek Skubal's at 13. Save leaders, Carlos Estevez at 38. Robert Suarez at 36. Andres Munoz at 33. Trevor McGill at 30. And Jeff Hoffman also at 30, tied with fourth place, I think that is. Either way, great pitching all the way around, great ball players all the way around, and I'm excited to see how a lot of these guys do the rest of the way here in September. Before we get into talking about some postseason, it's going to be a great time, and I really cannot wait for it. I really can't. 7MM Sports is your hub for all things Seven Mountains Media Sports. You can watch the latest of Sports Talk with Steve Jones episodes. You can find what station you can listen to your favorite Penn State sports team on, and you can even get live social media updates all the time. All of these things are available along with every single show produced by Seven Mountains Sports over at 7mmsports.com. Now let's dive into the storied pitcher and player of the week. This week's storied player of the week is going to be Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 6 games played, 25 at-bats, 13 hits. He has a 520 batting average, August 31st to September 6th. Unbelievable week. 2 home runs, 9 runs, 5 RBIs. Not as productive, but he didn't strike out at all. 0 Ks for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. through September and the last day of August so far. Unbelievable performance, and he's playing really good baseball today so far. We are in the bottom of the third since the last time we checked in, and it is tied 3-3 Yankees, Blue Jays. Vladdy's doing very well. He's playing some good baseball right now, and I don't anticipate that slowing down anytime soon. Another guy I don't anticipate to slow down anytime soon is Tarik Skubal. Skubal started 2 games this past week, 2 wins, 14 innings pitched, a 0.00 ERA through those 2 starts, 6 hits allowed, 3 walks, 10 Ks through 49 total batters faced. Unbelievable performances by Tarik Skubal, and I think he is just poised to win back-to-back Cy Youngs. Like, Max Fried was putting up some numbers early in the season, really was putting up a fight for it, but I really think that now it's Tarik Skubal's to give up. Like, I think he is without a doubt the AL Cy Young winner here. But we're gonna have to wait and see. He has potentially some big games coming up. I'm not sure if he's going to pitch in the Tigers-Yankees series. I think he could, though. But that is one of my games to watch. Tigers at Yankees. That is going to be a very important series for both ball clubs. The Tigers want to continue to win and continue to distance themselves from everybody else in the division and get themselves to a point where they could potentially be fighting for that number 1 seed in the American League. Right now, it's looking like it's just down to Detroit and Toronto that is going to be the number 1 seed. And if the Tigers can come away with 2 of 3 against the Yankees, that's going to put them in a pretty good spot to do that. The other series I have to watch is the Yankees at the Red Sox. That is going to be a very interesting series. Both Yankees and Red Sox are fighting to get themselves into the playoffs, and they're both fighting to get the top spot in the division. So I think this is a series that the Blue Jays are very happy is happening at this point, because both of them, both the Yankees and the Red Sox, are not terribly far out of first place, and getting some losses, having these 2 teams go back and forth is definitely going to help the Blue Jays distance themselves a little bit here. Next, speaking of the Blue Jays, I have the Astros at the Blue Jays. That is going to be a tough series to watch. The Astros want to distance themselves from Seattle in the divisional race, and they want to make sure that they can be the number 1 team in the AL West. And the Blue Jays are going to do everything they can to continue dominating the AL East and hopefully go into the postseason as the AL East champions. That is what the Blue Jays want to do. They're poised to do it. They're set up to do it. And this series is going to have a lot of weight in how the rest of their season goes. And finally, I have the Mets at the Phillies. The Mets are really going to try to close the gap in the NL East and try to get themselves into a better position to be a wild card team or overtake the Phillies in the NL East, but I don't think that's really going to happen. The Phillies look hot right now. They're playing really good baseball, and I don't necessarily think that the Mets are going to be able to take 2 of 3 from the Phillies this upcoming week. But we're going to have to wait and see. All of these games and all these matchups are going to be incredible, and I'm really looking forward to seeing a lot of these games on television. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to talk about all of these games and more next week right here on Scorebook Stories. So come on back next week. Make sure you're subscribed right here on 7 Mountain Sports on the YouTube channel, or you can listen on any of your favorite podcasting platforms or any of the apps within the Radio Novo suite that our company has put together. Absolutely incredible. You can listen on your favorite radio stations app. You can listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all those things as well. Make sure you give 7 Mountain Sports a follow on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X, all of that stuff. And if you're looking for more information on my show, on any of the other shows that we have here at 7 Mountain Sports, you can head over to 7mmsports.com. Thank you for listening to this episode of Scorebook Stories.